Transfix! Quietly now. It's fine. One with nature. I'm going in! Fallen leaves, adorn my night! Here comes the catch. Gotcha!
You can't run from death.
Overruled! Quietly now. Clouds high. The birds call! Game's up. Fun's over. Laid bare.
Can't run from death.
Gotcha! Fallen leaves, adorn my night! Things are about to get dicey. Quietly now.
You can't run from death. So you can't run from death.
into the wind. Time to go. Transfixed! Wind Strider! Ha! Overruled! Witness my rise! Huh? Take cover! Benny's adventure team, assemble!
If you ever want to trade tactics, I'm always ready.
One with nature. Transfixed.
The wind knows me.
Get out of here! Out of the way!
Ad Astra. Thank you for complete. Ad Astra.
Take your pick. You'll find.
No wonder you're a master.
Fountain. Hear my wishes.
Haven't you heard? There's a strange wanderer in your orphanage. Fresh fruit only at Queast.
It's been getting quite busy recently. Would you care to... If you ever have any questions...
Before me, worm!
Teamwork is dreamwork! As one with wind and cloud! Busted! Here comes the catch!
Feeble human! A thousand eons, mine to dominate! Burn to oblivion!
Take it easy.
body is pain.
Take it easy.
Good riddance, cruel world.
This is where you fall. Off we go!
Possible.
I'm going in!
Fallen leaves, adorn my night!
Things are about to get dicey. Overruled!
I was destined for... This opportunity is quite hard to come by. Well then, amuse me. Surrender is a valid option. I promise I'll be gentle. Cowering already? Go on! You've made some progress. Not bad. You've got a trick or two.
Witness my wrongs!
Your strength is praiseworthy. I too shall use all of mine. So, don't you dare disappoint me. Foul legacy, the devouring deep!
Overruled!
Would you care to... If you ever have...
Transfixed! Let's light it up!
Wind Strider!
I thought I told him to spray it with water to retain moisture before applying the film. You can't treat a glaze lily like a cactus. If Sanjay does this again, the loss will have to come out of his food expenses.
I'll go talk to him. At this rate, he won't even be able to afford eating cacti for much longer.
Hey, Tainari!
Oh, it's you two. It's been a while. What bring...
We didn't have anything to do, and this place looked pretty lively, so we decided to stop by. But, what's with all the flowers around here?
Well, Port Ormos is currently organizing a flower exhibition featuring flowers and plants from all over Teyvat. The exhibition includes flowers from every corner of the world, each with their own unique properties and needs. Even so, an expert is still required to develop tailored...
Oh, and that expert is you.
Not this time, no. I'm just here to help out.
Mr. Tainari! Sanjay! He confused the poisonous bulbs with garlic shoots, and he ate...
Never mind. Forget about what I said about the food expenses. Apologies, Traveler, Paimon. Looks like I've got something to take care of.
Tainari's busy no matter where he is, huh? Yeah, seems like it. Hey, don't look at Paimon like that! Paimon is super careful about what she eats. Well, looks like Tainari might be busy for a while. Let's take a look around. Wow, look at these flowers! They smell so...
Huh?
Paimon's... fine. She's just got a little...
Rainbow roses, glaze lily.
It's getting worse. But,
A moment of your time, you two? If it's not too much trouble, perhaps you could try this incense.
Incense? Oh, the scent is so... Whoa, that was fast! Paimon doesn't have to sneeze anymore!
Think nothing of it. From your attire, I imagine you two aren't from Sumeru either. Seeing as we're both travelers from abroad, it's only right that we help each other out should the occasion arise.
Oh, so you're here for the flower exhibition too?
I suppose that's accurate. Ah, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Emily, a perfumer from Fontaine.
Paimon is Paimon! Thank you so much for your help just now. Oh, and this is...
The Traveler, right? I've heard a lot about you from the Steambird. It's nice to finally...
What happened back there? Why did Paimon start sneezing all of a sudden?
Have you ever heard of hay fever? To put it simply, when inhaled, certain pollens can trigger abnormal physical reactions.
But Paimon has seen these kinds of flowers before and nothing weird happened then.
Well, we're all different. The factors that can trigger a reaction to certain stimuli vary by person. But there's no need to worry. Pollen allergies can be effectively mitigated with the use of medication.
Oh, well, that's good.
Traveler! Paimon! There you are. I left in such a hurry, I forgot to warn you about all the pollen in the air. Emily? Ah, What a coincidence. Looks like my worry was misplaced then. The Traveler and Paimon are—
It was nothing, really. We happened to run into each other shortly after my arrival, and I offered them a bit of help. I'm more curious as to why you thought the Traveler and Paimon were in danger. Allergy.
Remember the first time we met? You fainted after inhaling Spirit Borneal.
The Spirit Borneal didn't affect Paimon at all, and now she's the one suffering. It makes no sense.
It's not really something you can make sense out of, Paimon. There are all kinds of allergies out there, caused by a variety of different factors.
Exactly. I even encountered a case in Fontaine where someone had an allergic reaction to soba noodles their family brought back from Inazuma.
Whoa. Good thing Paimon isn't allergic to anything delicious.
In a manner of speaking, although you could say the patients I deal with are—
In addition to medicine, Emily is also very knowledgeable about botany. She's taught me a lot about the native flora around
And that's where my expertise ends, I'm afraid. When it comes to breadth of knowledge, Tainari certainly comes—
A flower expert? Oh, Paimon's got it! You must—
Wrong again, I'm afraid.
Well, I did come for the exhibition, but only to inquire about the Auguste variety. I'm not involved in any of—
Oh, Paimon was sure she got it right this time.
It's a kind of flower that was once popular in Fontaine. The perfume made from it also bears the same name. Auguste.
Auguste, huh? That's not a—
In an ancient language, the word is said to mean sacred or noble. It's sometimes used as a name for people as well. Ah, that reminds me. Are you familiar with a historical event in Fontaine known as Perfume Mania? Perfume Mania was an event that occurred in Fontaine nearly 20 years. It all started when several merchants released their own lines of high-end, expensive perfumes, marketing them as must-have luxury products, the very symbol of elegance itself. No one anticipated the absolute frenzy this would create on the market, causing the price of perfumes to skyrocket. The demand was twofold. What some saw as a status symbol, most saw as a money-making opportunity. You could take advantage of the soaring price by the value of these products became so inflated, regular bottles of perfume were even going for hundreds of thousands of mora. But at the end of the day, perfume is just perfume. The market value greatly exceeded the intrinsic worth of the product, creating an economic bubble that was never going to last. Luckily, the Palais Mermonia recognized the danger and intervened before the craze could truly spread. Many profiteers and scammers were thrown in jail as a result. In the end, only a few wealthy families were affected when the bubble popped.
What does all this have to do with that Auguste you mentioned?
Well, during the craze, the most popular perfume was none other than Auguste. The demand far exceeded the supply, to the point where it once sold for 10 million mora a bottle.
10 million? Then what about—
After the mania ended, most perfumes returned to a normal price. Auguste was the only its namesake, the flower used to create it, went extinct. As a result, no new bottles of Auguste have been made, and the value of the perfume remains exceedingly high. Indeed, the Auguste flower was not a natural variety, you see. It was specially cultivated for use in perfume. When the bubble popped, all the flower beds used for its cultivation were destroyed in a fire. The variety has never been—
But didn't you say you came to the exhibition to—
Ah, yes. I came to investigate a certain rumor that the Auguste flower has reappeared.
Traveler, we should help Emily look for it.
I have to agree. Emily wrote me to ask if I could look into the rumor, but the forest rangers haven't received any reports of new plant species recently.
Even if I can locate the flower, I'm afraid you'll be disappointed, Paimon. I don't have any grand— Divine, noble, one of a kind. All beautiful sentiments, to be sure, but to me, they overshadow the very essence of the product. When it comes to perfume, I want people to forget the price and the prestige, and focus on the beauty of the fragrance itself.
Wow, so—
Of course, there's also a more practical reason. In recent years, low-grade counterfeit versions of Auguste have been popping up on the Fontaine perfume market. Every so often, someone will claim to have recreated the unique scent of Auguste, and the rumor mill will start comparing the counterfeits to my own work.
Okay, that's more like the reason Paimon had—
Ever since that rumor started, 3 new perfumes claiming to be made from the Auguste flower have appeared on. If I can dispel the fanaticism surrounding Auguste, even just by proving the rumor to be false, Fontaine's perfume market can finally start to get back to normal. Then I'll be free from all the stories and added meaning and just focus on making.
That makes sense.
Oh, I would of course be grateful for your help, but I wouldn't.
Well, you said it yourself. We're both travelers from abroad, so it's only right that we have.
Ha! I suppose you're right. Then you have my thanks.
Based on the information I have so far, it's unclear if the rumor is true. Mr. Edgar also thinks it's too early to say, but you could always go talk to him. He was there all those years ago, after all. Maybe he'll...
I was just about to pay him a visit at the hotel.
Edgar? Who's that?
The person you've been trying to guess this whole time. The flower expert in charge of the exhibition. Back when he was still working in Fontaine, Auguste was his creation.
I should also mention, he was my teacher, the one who taught me the basics of perfumery when I apprenticed.
So this guy was a famous perfumer in Fontaine, but then he came to Sumeru to teach people from Fontaine? It sounds confusing.
It's a long story. If you're interested, we can talk more about it when we see him. He should be staying near the hotel. Apparently, the exhibitor paid a large sum to rent out the hotel and...
Yeah, what if guests come early? They won't have anywhere to stay. Also, renting out this big of a hotel, how are they gonna make that Mora back?
It's been so long, I almost didn't recognize...
Well, you and your brother haven't changed.
Oh, yeah, all this catching up is nice and all, but let's get down to business. We need...
Hold on, we have...
It's nice to see you again, Master.
Emily? Is that you? Oh, it's been years. Look, I've heard you've become quite the famous perfumer in Fontaine. It would seem the student has surpassed...
Oh, well, it's all...
Hardly. I taught you the basics. Hearing you call me... I've taught many students here in Sumeru over the years, but I've yet to see one turn out quite as accomplished as you. You're the only one who can take credit for that. And who are these two? I don't...
They're my new friends, the Traveler and Paimon.
Emily's friends.
And these two gentlemen? Are they...
Of course! We're perfume merchants from Fontaine. I'm Oud, and this here is my younger brother, Blaze. Edgar and the two of us are old friends.
Yes.
Merchant brothers?
You must be here to look for the Auguste flower then.
Huh? Well, what respectable perfume merchant hasn't heard of Auguste? Anyone in the business would be interested.
I'm guessing you're here for the same reason, Emily. We were just about to get into it, so you three might as well. I commissioned a few eremites to do some scouting for me. They searched all over Sumeru, but that being said, there are people in Port Ormos who claim to have smelled a unique fragrance on the streets. Definitely, some of them were merchants who lived in Fontaine 20 years ago. According to them, the fragrance smelled a one-of-a-kind, divine.
Maybe someone around here just happens to have a bottle of Auguste.
No, I don't think so. I doubt that's the case. Even if someone had a bottle that was never opened, the fragrance of the perfume would have changed over time. Very few perfumes can go decades without a change in scent. Auguste is even more prone to that kind of shift. Only a few bottles still exist in Fontaine, and their scent would have completely degraded by now. Although, could there be a flower out there with a similar...
Impossible! If Auguste were that easy to replicate, it would never have sold for such a high price all those years ago. The Auguste flower...
Technically speaking, The scent wouldn't be impossible to
Well, let's table that question for now. Edgar?
No. By the time they realized they had smelled something, the scent was already gone. If I hadn't asked about it, they probably wouldn't have given the experience a second. Compared to things we see and hear, smells can be much easier to...
It almost sounds like someone wearing their Ghost fragrance passed them on the street.
Wait, are you saying...
Just thinking out loud.
We don't have much to go off of right now, but we can't rule out... You all traveled so far...
Ooh, you've got the keys to the rooms?
Ah, my apologies. All the room... I managed to tidy up one of the rooms for these two at the last minute. But by the time Emily wrote to me, there was no more space.
Oh, and we just showed up out of the blue. Guess that means there's...
I should have been more considerate.
Don't worry, Master. I can sleep on the boat tonight. Or I could even camp in the wild. It would give me the opportunity to collect some plant although, would it be possible for me to leave some of my luggage here? It would be rather cumbersome to take it camping.
Well,
Of course, no.
All right then. I'll prepare some refreshments and join you.
Whoa, the smell of flowers is so strong. Didn't Edgar say he tidied up around here? There's still so many flowers. Hyman took a peek through the window earlier and his house was packed with flowers. Looks like...
No, that's a florist thing. We work closely with the essential oils of various plants. But to maintain a sharp sense of smell, most perfumers prefer to keep their homes free of strong odors.
Oh, guess there's just too much to store for the exhibition then.
Oh, this room seems to be a connected suite, and my brother will be staying on the other side of the... Blaze, while you're out, why don't you bring our luggage... Blaze!
Yes.
All right, then. Where can we find your luggage, mademoiselle? Blaze will go...
It's still at the port. In addition to some daily necessities, there's also a case of amber wine that I brought back from... Could I trouble you to bring that back as well? It would be the perfect way to repay you for...
How generous. I should thank you on my brother's behalf.
Is that so? Mr. Ood, Mr. Blaze, thanks for...
Hey! What are you doing?
That's Master's voice.
Edgar!
Master!
Hey, Edgar! Are you all right?
Kyria.
Kyria.
Hey, Edgar?
No, don't shake him. He's injured. Just leave him to me. You two can... Oh, thank you.
I check. Oh, but that's him. Oh, the culprit, I mean. It's not like the culprit could have just...
That strange smell around here. Is it coming from this bottle? Oh, really? Do you think whoever did this was hiding in the flowers before they attacked? True. Well, we looked all over, but the only clue we found was...
The most important thing we can do now is focus our efforts on treat.
So, how's he doing?
When I administered emergency treatment, I discovered a residue in his nose and mouth. Master was most likely... He's still unconscious, and inducing vomiting could obstruct his airways. We'll have to look into other clues for now. Ah, yes. The scent is the same, but the chemical composition is still unclear. We'll have to do further tests to determine... But first, I do believe there are two people who could shed some... Mr. Sylvain, Mr. Lucian.
Wait, you know... Hey! Were you talking to us, mademoiselle? I'm afraid we...
Before arriving in Sumeru, I asked a friend from the Special Patrol to look into the creators of Agu. There were 4 people in total. The perfumer, Edgar, the one thrust into the limelight, and 3 others. A researcher from Sumeru responsible for cultivating the Auguste flower, and 2 merchant brothers responsible for promoting the product on the market. The 2 brothers capitalized on the mythos surrounding Auguste. Their actions lured in numerous speculators. In the end, they were sent to the Fortress of Meripede for falsifying their accounts and destabilizing the market. If you do the math, they should be out of prison by now.
And what does that have to do with us? There are countless merchant families in Fontaine. You gonna accuse them of being criminals?
Every time your brother called you Blaze, it took you several seconds to respond. But when I called you Lucien just now, the name registered immediately.
Ah, Miss Emily, out of respect for your position as a famous perfumer in Fontaine, you have a bright future ahead of you. You wouldn't want to develop a reputation as someone who throws around false accusations.
You claim to be regular perfume merchants, and yet, when I brought up amber wine, you took it to be alcohol.
What?
Amber wine is a perfume I created several years ago. It wasn't particularly renowned, but I'm certain any respectable perfume merchant in Fontaine would know of it. Unless, until recently, they were living somewhere completely cut off from the perfume world. Somewhere like... the fortress...
Emily, you little...
Don't misunderstand, Mr. Sylvain. I don't bring this up to criticize you. No matter what happened all those years ago, the court has already passed its judgment. But Master's life is in danger. We need to learn whatever we can about the person. If Master's attack had something to do with Auguste, so I'd like to trouble you for some information, if I may. Tell me...
Fine.
Sylvain!
Lucien, if this will help us find Kyria, then it will be all worth it. Besides, we've already told most of the stuff to the Maison. You were right, Miss Emily. There were 4 of us at the beginning. Myself, Lucian, Edgar, and a researcher from Sumeru in charge of flower cultivation, Vijava. Sometime down the road, the Marechaussee Phantom came knocking, saddled us with a list of accusations, and started looking into our books. Oh, they did their meddling, and my brother Edgar and I were forced to serve time in the fortress as a result.
Sounds like he's still upset about that. Wait, then how did Edgar end up in Sumeru?
Master was convicted as an accomplice, so he only had to serve a few years. He decided to move to Sumeru so that he could put those events behind him. Still, Master was depressed for a long time after that. He stopped making new perfumes and focused on introducing students to the craft instead. That's how I met him. My parents had to relocate to Sumeru for work when I was a child, so I had the chance to study under him for a little while. But we can talk about that some other time. I want to hear more about this researcher, Vijava.
But before the Phantom showed up at her door, she set all the flower beds on fire, along with much of the mora we managed to earn. All the Auguste flowers, everything we worked to create, was reduced to nothing.
But destroying all that evidence, wouldn't that make things worse for her?
It didn't matter at that point, because she died in the fires.
What?
Sounds like you did an investigation of your own. Why even ask us if you knew all—
The name wasn't mentioned in any of the files I reviewed either. But you—
Kyria was Vijava's younger brother. He was just a clueless kid back then. Somewhere in his teens, I think. He helped his sister with her work sometimes, but that was pretty much it. He didn't have any idea what we were doing. Vijava kept him close most of the time. The three of us were probably the only ones who even knew she had a brother. After our operation was compromised, he disappeared. There were no signs of him until recently, when people started saying the Auguste flower had—
So, you think Kyria took something with him back then? Something that allowed him to reproduce the Auguste—
Vijava doted on the kid like you wouldn't believe. She even told us to give her cut to her brother if anything happened to her. If she left something behind before she died, believe me, Kyria's the one that has it.
And judging by the liquid in that bottle, the Auguste flower wasn't the only thing he reproduced. He managed to replicate the perfume.
So the liquid Edgar was forced to ingest really was Auguste. Wait, does that mean Auguste—
Poison? No. Of course not. No perfume is meant to be ingested. Even small amounts can be dangerous, let alone ingesting a whole bottle at once. If Auguste could be considered a poison, we wouldn't have even sold half a bottle back then. Edgar fell unconscious because Kyria forced him to drink perfume. It just happened. He probably thought we had something to do with his sister's death. But to tell you the truth, I have no idea why she did all that. We're not looking for Kyria because we have it out for him. We just wanted to see how he was doing. And, if possible, work together to bring back Auguste. We only went to prison for a bit of fraud and market manipulation. It had nothing to do with the product itself. As long as we keep things honest this time around, bringing the product back to market would almost be like honoring his sister.
So that's why you never mentioned Kyria during your interrogation?
Yes, exactly. We were just looking out for the kid.
Anyway, that's all we know. If you're looking for information on what's in Auguste, or what to do if you ingest it, there are only two people to ask. Edgar.
Well, at least we're able to say for certain that the substance Edgar ingested was in fact Auguste. That gives us a direction for further testing. Well then, I'd say—
Well, glad to hear. Lucian, let's head back to the room and rest a bit. With everything that's happened.
Yes.
You think so too? That does seem to be the case. But based on Sylvain's tone of voice just now, I suspect further
The way you exposed them like that, just based on a hunch? That was genius! Oh, right! Earlier you said you were only sort of a doctor, and that your
Oh yes, that's because most of the patients I encounter are already dead.
So you're a forensic doc?
Close. I'm actually a forensic cleaner. Once the forensic team and the Marachese Phantom are done collecting evidence from the scene, I'm in charge of clearing away the final traces my patients leave on the world. In fact, with just a small alteration to the formula, the same tincture used as the base of perfume can also be made into a cleaning agent. Basically, there are two sides to forensics. Though I've learned a lot in my line of work, and I've witnessed a lot of death. But this time, we may still save the patient. Actually, Traveler, could I trouble you to report back to Tainari, and I'll stay here and continue to...
Whoa, why the rush?
What? Edgar was He's the most famous perfumer in the region. Someone who's helped countless people.
Sheriff, have you received any reports of a suspicious...
No, but we've got eyes all over the... I'll start gathering my forces.
What about you, Tainari? Do you have a plan?
I'm sure the sheriff can handle things over at the scene, and I doubt Emily needs my help looking after Mr.
But she said she's not...
Then she was far too modest. She may not be a doctor by trade, but she has a deeper understanding of human anatomy and pharmacology than most scholars from the Amorta Darshan. Not to mention the fact that Mr. Edgar's condition is related to perfume. Emily is certainly in the best position to help him. As for me, I'll head to the academia and see what I can learn about Vijava and Kirya.
Oh, that's right! Vijava was supposed to be a scholar from Sumeru.
From Emily's letter, certainly, but that was the first time I'd heard of it. The academia produces a lot of scholars, and there are plenty of graduates who choose to pursue a career outside their dark. I didn't have time to look into it earlier, but now it seems like Vijava's past could be critical to getting to the bottom of what happened to Mr. Edgar. I have friends in Sumeru City that I'll leave you and Emily to watch over.
Well, it's been a day. Wonder if Tainari's discovered anything. But things weren't looking good with
No longer in critical condition, thankfully. He's still... My chemical analysis of Auguste also went smoothly, although it... I was able to identify the components that give the substance its fragrance, but I also noticed an abnormal trace of elemental
energy?
Hard to say. I had to use one of the new, unless you were abnormally as for weather map.
Oh, that reminds...
I received him.
Oh, Pineapple thought he excuse me? Is Miss Emily here? Oh, perfect! Familiar faces!
Kale. Ah, of course. Tainari's apprentice. He's mentioned you many times. And please, no need for formalities.
Oh, okay. Nice to meet you too, Miss, Did Tainari send you here, Kale? Yep. Master and the others went through decades worth of records last night. Anyway, based on what they've reviewed so far, Master considered that possibility as well. But the name wasn't the only dead end. Master tried to track down people with a similar research direction or background, but how is that possible?
It's starting to seem very likely if we want to figure out her true...
Hey! Lucian!
It's Sylvain! Wait, you don't think Kirio came back?
That seems impossible. If someone came in or out of the hotel just now, we would have seen them. It's locked?
Lucian! Lucian! Come on! Wait! Emily! Emily!
I'm sorry, Mr. Sylvain, but we were too late this time.
No, that's not...
Traveler, Kale, Mr. Sylvain has gone through a huge... He needs some space to calm down. Could one of you take him next door? It's not good for him to look at it.
Of course. Leave it to me.
Thank you both. Mr. Sylvain, let's get you up. Here. We'll take things from here. Just focus on getting some rest. Here, this way.
Poor guy. He's like a shell of... He may have made some bad decisions in life, but...
Good person or bad, the death of a loved one is all the moments he shared with his brother, every hard...
If Kirio really was behind this, then what exactly...
Lucian can no longer speak, but the traces left behind by his death most... Traveler, I've got things covered here at the scene. I'll leave...
Who would have thought? Yesterday's case is still up in the air, and now this happened. Miss Emily, I heard you're an experienced forensic doctor. Have you been able to discover anything?
Oh, I'm not actually a forensic doctor. I just happen to have some relevant knowledge. I did take a look, though. Judging by the temperature and rigidity of the body, it appears the time of death was sometime last night. I'd have to do a more thorough investigation to...
Then, would you mind helping us investigate? Before he left, Tainari said we could trust your judgment if something like this were to happen.
Of course, I appreciate your trust. Many of the traces left behind at the scene will fade with time, so the sooner we investigate, the better.
We'll help too. We don't know much about dead bodies, but you can leave the other clues to us. And the windows are shut tight too. Seems like the only way... Well, looks like we've investigated as much as...
So, did you find anything?
Paimon can show you. Here, it'd be something like this.
But entering through the room next door without alerting Sylvain... Wait, you don't think...
No, his reaction to the loss of his brother seemed genuine. And he doesn't...
Then what could have happened last night? I know Sylvain is still in shock, but...
I agree. Also, I've made some new discoveries, so we might as well head next...
Mr. Sylvain, I need you to tell me everything you and your brother did since yesterday.
After Kyria attacked Edgar, my brother and I were incredibly careful. We returned to our rooms and decided to lock all the doors. The only door we kept unlocked was the one connecting our rooms. That way, but I didn't hear any sort of commotion last night. Not a single noise! I will...
So, no movement from the room next door. No forced entry via Sylvain's room. No signs of a struggle at the scene. And no external injury on Lucien's body.
I did notice a few things about the body. Lucien's pupils were dilated, and his skin was flushed. Very similar to Master's. There weren't any traces of liquid in his mouth or nose, so it's unlikely he was forced to ingest anything. The more plausible explanation is that he inhaled a substance without knowing it. And I'd say that substance was...
A goose? No, that's not possible. Inhaling a goose won't kill you. And anyway, it would have been for just one... No. Emily, you ran your tests, didn't you?
No. I didn't find any common toxins.
See? A goose is harmless.
That may be true for most people, but not for...
Master!
Edgar? You're...
Thanks to Emily. Sylvain, no matter how hard you may try to...
Edgar!
Even if we could keep it a secret for another 10 or 20 years, no. He would never give up. Not if he's doing all of this for Yelena. That's Yelena wasn't a scholar from Sumeru. She was an exiled Fatus from Snezhn.
A Fatus?
The Fatui. Well, that means that...
Ah, so you've already detected it.
Oh...
The August flower was created with the mutative and distorting power of a delusion.
The F2P delusions. I never would have thought Auguste was hiding this many secrets.
Born of a delusion, Auguste contained distorted elemental energy. A prolonged exposure over many years could have a harmful effect on the body.
That's enough, Edgar. At first, Yelena wanted to keep refining the perfume and the flower, but no one knew how long the perfume mania was going to last back then. It didn't have any effect on ordinary people anyway. Every day we postponed going to market was another day of lost earning potential.
So you decided poisoning people was worth the...
Listen, it's not like it was good for business. But all that talk about Auguste being harmful over time, Yelena was just speculating. Unless you were particularly sensitive to elemental energy or had an entire bottle shoved down your throat like Edgar, you could use the product for decades and be complete.
It may be true there are no records of Auguste poisoning, but even if no one was acutely poisoned, willfully bringing a product to market despite explicit knowledge of its harmful effects is still a serious crime. That explains why you were so intent on keeping Yelena and Kiria's involvement a secret all this time, despite readily confessing to all your the F2P, delusions,
Ha! If I'd known coming to Sumeru would put a target on my back, I would have been more than happy to stay there. All these years without any sign of Kiria, and he pops up out of nowhere the minute my brother and I get out of prison? It couldn't be any clearer who the kid's after. Auguste was harmless before. The fact that it's killing people all of a sudden must be his due.
So there's bad blood between you.
What about Yelena's death? Was that a cover-up too? A way to...
I'll admit, we thought about it at one point. We took care to disguise the product circulating on the market, and no one was questioning Yelena's fake identity. But if the Mara Chaussee Phantom decided to look into the flower beds, it would have... Before we could even put our plan in motion, Yelena beat us to it. She burned all her flower beds, and...
But if her goal was to destroy evidence, there would have... Yeah, she could have just burned the flower beds and fled with...
I thought about it for a long time, but it wasn't until just everything she did. It was... One of the reasons they defected from the F2P was the deterioration of Yelena's body due to her excessive use of a delusion. She didn't want her brother to follow in her footsteps after arriving in Fontaine, Yelena...
So she couldn't flee...
If her true identity... The Auguste flower and Yelena's own corroded body both bore the mark of a delusion. So, in the end... She burnt it.
So the wealth you earned from Auguste, it wasn't destroyed in the fire. Yelena gave it...
Most likely. Before Yelena died, she said if anything happened to her, she was going to leave everything to her brother. That's why Lucien and I were searching for Kiria, to take back Armora and the Auguste flower. We just didn't realize Kiria was baiting us the whole...
But why is Kiria out for revenge anyway? Doesn't he know about you?
I don't think he knew his sister was nearing death. Yelena always wore heavy makeup around him to conceal her deteriorating appearance. Then
all we'll need to do is tell Kiria what really happened, and then he'll give up on his revenge. I'm not so sure. Even if he knew the truth, he'd still find someone to blame. He might think Yelena was forced into using a delusion to cultivate Auguste. Or it's hard to pull yourself out of that kind of hatred. Especially when you've been living in that...
Very true. Even if Yelena's death was her own choice.
Edgar!
Think about it, Sylvain. If we hadn't been in such a hurry to capitalize on the perfume mania all those years ago, if we hadn't been so blinded by greed, so insistent on increasing the scale of the flower cultivation, do you think Yelena's health would have deteriorated if we hadn't invited the Marashal?
She knew her limits. She knew we were just trying to earn a bit of Moro. And what, we deserve to die for that? Target me for being the mastermind, sure. But what about Lucien's crime? Was it really so extreme that he had to pay for it?
The only person...
Fine. I've said my piece anyway.
3 people from Fontaine, 1 from Snezhnaya. Well, we can only wait until the Academia sends someone to deal with it. I'm guessing we'll have to contact Fontaine as well. In any case, we won't really know anything until tomorrow. With the exhibition, we don't even have space in Port Ormos to detain anyone. Such a headache.
The hotel could suffice. You could station a few officers to keep an eye on Sylvain, and although with Sylvain's mental state and my physical one, I don't...
Mr. Edgar, are you saying...
If Sylvain is to stand trial, then I deserve the same fate. I'd just like to take care of a few things before I go. As for Sylvain, I'm sure he also has some goodbyes of his own. Would you be willing to grant that request?
Well, all right. I'll talk to the Academia. No matter who you were in Fontaine, the man we grew to know in Sumeru proved himself to be a good person. Your request?
You have my thanks, Sheriff.
Happened tonight? Oh, you mean the possibility that Kyria might try to finish what he's...
Yeah! All we know is that he uses a goose to poison people. But we still have no idea how to catch him. If he targets Sylvain or Edgar again, we might not be able to...
That may be true. But what if we can... If we take advantage of this situation and lure him in on purpose, we...
Master, no! That's...
If Kyria learns we're being taken away tomorrow, his last chance to enact his revenge... In other words, you want to use us as bait to capture him.
Capture? Not necessarily. I just want...
Afraid? This is my only... I'm spending the rest of my life in prison anyway. I can't just sit back and let him ride off into the sunset with our fortune. As for the danger, everyone else just needs to make preparations and...
I'll admit, it could work. We just need to spread the word that Edgar and Sylvain are leaving tomorrow. Then I'll station some of my men around the hotel. If we have your assistance as well, our chance of success would be even higher.
I still have some reservations. But if you insist on carrying out this plan, I won't...
I'll also keep watch.
Although, if Kyria... No...
You mean if he doesn't see a way to get his hands on the 2 of you, he might get so desperate that he'll just start using a goose on everybody?
If that were to happen, everyone's standing guard. Even...
That's why everyone else needs to keep to the shadows.
You're still recovering. You need to rest.
All right.
Have you heard? Mr. Edgar's been detained. He's being taken away to...
What? He's the one who helped craft all the fragrances. He taught my child how to make perfume. How?
He hasn't been convicted yet. Let's just wait and see what the court has to say.
Oh, everyone on the street is talking about the rumors. Let's head back to the hotel and take a break. Yelan wants to talk to you and the Traveler about our plans for the Night Watch.
Thank you, Kale. But first, here, I prepared a kind of herbal tea that helps calm the spirit. What?
Oh, that's...
Oh, it's... You seem very preoccupied.
Oh, Hey, Emily, Kale. Oh, no, not at all. This will be easier to talk through. There was just when I accompanied... Maybe Kiria did that on purpose. Maybe he wanted Sylvain so did he attack?
Based on what we've...
Losing his sister, whenever I get to thinking... I'm sorry.
There's nothing in all my years. Some of them surround your... So while you do Sylvain, answering those... I've witnessed, but generally speaking...
Once you're consumed by...
You're right, but that... I understand...
Huh.
Emily, Traveler. Huh? Edgar.
Oh, it's you two! Didn't you head back to your room to rest, Edgar? Is it really okay?
Besides, I don't have much time left in Sumeru.
We could do that for you, Master.
No need. I would imagine Sheriff...
the Night Watch...
That's right. I've stationed some of my men around the surrounding area, but we still don't have anyone standing guard next to Sylvain's room. Exactly. After some discussion, we concluded that Sylvain has the highest risk of being attacked next, and Emily's expertise is...
Sounds perfect.
Not a peep. Has Kiria given up on his revenge? Guess we'll have to keep at... Still nothing unusual. Paimon took a peek into the room next door and Sylvain's already sleeping.
Perhaps Kiria's true motive was simply forcing Sylvain to confess his crime. No, that can't be right. If all he wanted was for Sylvain to be convicted for his true crimes, he could have... There must be something...
Maybe we just need to calm down a little. How about some tea? That herbal blend for... You're right. Maybe we can look for a different distraction then, like looking at the flower. Oh, there's a glaze lily here. Paimon didn't notice it earlier.
Flowers, glaze lily... Oh no! Sylvain's room! Quick!
Wait, what?
Hey, did you hear? Someone was...
It was the older...
Yeah, I think his name was Sylvain.
First it was Mr. Edgar, then that merchant named Lucian, and...
Listen up, everyone. This is an active crime scene.
It's been 3...
Do you think it could be the work of an... I mean, how do you get away with something like that with so many people watching?
Keep it moving, everyone. No lo...
I suppose.
You don't know that. Kiria already attacked you once, and you survived. Perhaps he doesn't consider your crime to be worthy of death.
You were the only reason I managed to...
Even if I wasn't there, Tainari was also in the vicinity. He would have been able to help.
Is that so? I suppose I'm a very fortunate person then. I have exceptional students, caring friends, and the respect of my peers. If it is, but Kyria has nothing. Yelena is gone. Now, it really...
If you really want an answer, I suppose you'll have to ask Kyria himself.
Emily, but so many flowers were transported here. Whether I know...
Of course.
Really? Oh, I'm glad to hear it. Now
Sheriff Sham still has some questions for me, so...
Go ahead. Best not to keep him waiting. He can be quite impatient.
I'm sorry, Master.
Another all-nighter. Emily still isn't back. Yeah.
Traveler, I had my men start spreading the information you requested. After listening to be honest, I'm...
The key clue was right in front of us. Let's go. We'll show you where the... Wasn't this incense originally in Lucian's room? It must have been moved here before. Wasn't this incense originally... This is it!
The glazed lily, huh? I think I've heard of it before. It's a flower...
Well, did you know? It only blooms at night.
Emily, you're back!
Exactly as
A flower that only blooms at night. Like the...
Exactly. Although, the Neelpala lotus wouldn't be a good substitute in this scenario. When it's closed, the gaps between the petals are too... That's why Kyria chose the glaze lily as his mechanism. He would start by preparing an agu...
There's a sticky substance on the edge of the flower petals. If you stick the petals together with slime condensate, then, in the daytime, the glaze lily would act almost...
That's right! He applied a diluted form of slime condensate to the petals to stick them together, and enclosed a sample of agoost in the center. That way, the agoost would remain trapped inside during the daytime, unable to seep between the petals and evaporate into the air. This also allowed the culprit to plant the poison well in advance, while his targets remained. However, the diluted slime condensate wouldn't be viscous enough to prevent the petals of the glaze lily from opening at night. So by nightfall, the flower would bloom, thereby forcing the target to inhale the agoost trap.
And Kyria could execute his...
By the next morning, the sample...
Wait a second. You're telling me this version of agoost is so toxic? And how did Edgar even survive in...
That's because agoost is just as dangerous now as it was all those years ago.
Ah, you mean people who are sensitive to elemental energy. So it's just some sort of happy coincidence that can't be right. They were involved in the operation all those years ago.
I wouldn't use the word allergic necessarily. You can think of it this way. It's not that Sylvain and Lucien are innately sensitive to
The incense I smelled earlier seemed familiar. Thinking back on it, in Sumeru, scholars use spirit borneal to aid
alchemically produced essential oils, the primordial...
That stuff gave us a lot of trouble when we first came to Ah, yes. I definitely
In Sumeru, it's
Flowers were pretty important to this plan, huh? The glazed lily is native to Liyue. It would be completely unnatural to have one here in Sumeru if it weren't for the exhibition.
Actually, it's not a coincidence at all.
No wonder he was willing to pay a small fortune to rent out the hotel. He probably used the mora Yelena left him, don't you think? That money was supposed to set him free, but in the end, it was just a tool for his revenge.
There's a saying among forensic doctors, but up until this point, we haven't been able to detect any trace of Curious, but because he's been disguised as someone else, this...
creating such an intricate mechanism out of a glaze lily, setting up the spirit borneal in advance, and it all points to one person. The mora spent to rent out the hotel, the way the Auguste flower was cultivated, it all points to one person. The boy... Kyria and Edgar are one and the same.
But Kyria was only in his teens back then. He wouldn't even be 40. Edgar's lived here for so many...
Bad news, Sheriff! Mr. Edgar was attacked!
What?
A dark shadow-like figure just ran out of his room. It was giving off a really ominous... But before we could even react, the figure up and disappeared like some sort of... Do you think Kyria kidnapped him?
I need you to think very carefully about this. Are you certain that figure wasn't
I mean, Mr. Edgar was so frail. I don't see how he could have moved that fast.
It would seem Master decided to tap into an ill-advised sort...
What? But that's so dangerous with the...
But why? Why would he do that?
No. If his aim was to target everyone who had...
If he left Sylvain alive yesterday, not out of a desire to see him suffer, but to confirm the truth about why Yelena...
Then... there...
The shadow-like figure ran in the direction of the elevator, and my partner immediately chased after them.
We should hurry before they're forced to confront each other.
Where in the world did he go? Let's ask the merchants nearby.
It's all right. Please, calm down and take a deep breath. Can you tell?
How could...
No! Don't come any closer!
If we go any...
It's all right. I can detect... It's this way. Please, follow me.
something with which to commemorate this occasion.
The scent is getting stronger. This must...
Oh! Are you all right? Were you at...
Let me take a look.
The air definitely feels heavy. It smells nice, but for some reason, this feeling...
Everything looks all right. It was probably just the stress of the chase, combined with the impact of the environment.
I can't rest. Mr. Edgar is still in there. He's a good man.
Oz, you need to calm down and listen to me. Edgar is the one we're after.
But how is that possible? Mr. Edgar is 70-something. Changing your appearance...
That's precisely why he had to resort to extraordinary measures to age himself. Kyria used a delusion to bring back the Auguste flower, corroding his body in the process.
No. He couldn't have. Mr. Edgar has been in Port Ormos for years.
And what if the impersonation started before he ever... I've yet to confirm it, but I suspect Kyria killed the real while Edgar was incarcerated. The new Edgar then decided to relocate to Sumeru, seemingly out of an innocuous desire to let go of the past. And Sumeru, as the years went by, he removed his disguise little by little.
That explains why he aged himself.
I need to find Mr. Edgar. He's not...
What you really need is to get...
No,
Wait! This environment is likely being influenced by the delusion. Any discomfort, I know how to relieve your... I'm sure Kyria... No.
Kale's right. The Traveler and I will take things from here. This leads me to believe those blessed with a Actually, I hate to trouble you, but we need people...
Thank. Hear that?
Traveler, for someone who's...
Don't worry. We're not going to...
Reconstitute!
Monsters. Perhaps they were attracted here by the increased level of elemental energy.
Quietly now. Overruled.
I've never seen these seeds before. They must also have been created with the power of a delusion. It seems to be avoiding us, and there's no other way forward. Perhaps we could try luring it to the edge of the cliff.
Whoa, look at all the Auguste flowers! There are so many of them. I can't believe a single person did all this.
I fear that statement is truer than you know, Paimon. Using a delusion comes at a cost.
But why would Kyria? He only needed a...
Perhaps hatred wasn't the only emotion. Not long ago, he told me he didn't want all... But Kyria betrayed Snezhnaya, abandoned Fontaine, and lived his entire life for someone with nowhere to call home. Reconstitute! A plant that destroys seeds. Huh. Quite the ecological marvel. Let's head back to the place where the seeds first appeared. The scent of flowers is getting stronger. We're almost at the end. The scent of flowers.
Did they catch up that... No. My strength is just waning. But it doesn't matter.
This is a garden of Auguste flowers. But it's not mine. It's the one that was set on fire all those... Yelena? Yelena! You tried to hide it from me, but the reason why you continued to use the delusion, the reason why you set your guard, I shouldn't have listened to you that day. I shouldn't have taken the Mora and ran. But by the time I realized something wasn't right, there was nothing left. I know I'm almost 20 years too late. I should have died with you that day. Yelena? Yelena! No! Don't leave me! Yelena!
I'm alive. No.
That was an illusion, likely brought about by the residual toxin in your body coupled with the pollen in the air, neither of which are—
No! The amount of Auguste I drank, it should have been enough. A fake.
We started making the preparations last night with one goal in mind, to create a perfect accord. The accord is the basis of perfume making,
the product in its most primitive form. Ambergris mixed with cedar wood, rounded out with a base note of agar wood.
This is the scent of leather?
Exactly. We're unable to extract essential oils from leather, but by combining other raw materials, we can recreate its essence. That is the purpose of an accord.
Does that mean you can recreate any scent in the whole world?
I'm afraid not. Certain fragrances in this world are simply one of a kind. That quality is what draws people in and fuels their obsessions.
If I wear a goose to the ball, I'll also be one of a kind. Our competitor already got their hands on it.
It doesn't matter how much it costs. I have to buy something better.
This fragrance will be one of a kind, no more. Myths can be deconstructed, miracles can be recreated. All it takes is skill, experience, limitless exploration, and a little patience. The only thing left is determining where the real Auguste is hidden. Pretending to be attacked means he's not free to move around. Auguste must be hidden within reach.
Paimon took a peek through the window earlier and his house was packed with flowers.
The curator commissioned a flower pot from Kasharawar capable of retaining heat and moisture.
Perfumes are as beautiful as flowers, and equally as delicate. When stored, you must take care to control the temperature and keep them away from direct sunlight. Did you get all that, Emily?
I got it.
Did you hear? Someone was attacked again last night.
So, Sylvain is dead. Is that right?
Yes, Master.
So, you switched the bottles of Auguste, and then lied to me about
Convincing you that your revenge had been completed was the easiest way to get you to let down your guard.
Impossible. Even if you found a way to switch out the bottles, there's no way you could have made an accord. If Auguste was so easy to replicate.
It was a combination of rainbow roses, glaze lilies, and Cecilias. Those ingredients would have conflicted with each other if you tried to combine them in the past. But recently, we found a way for the
rainbow roses.
Auguste was created over 10 years ago. All this time, people never stopped analyzing it, never stopped trying. Perfumery techniques are advancing day by day. We've found better ways to extract essential oils, separate oils and fats. We even discovered new ways to combine The mythos surrounding Auguste may have been untouchable almost 20 years.
The past.
You've been working as a perfumer for all these years. You should have always known that it is possible to make an accord. But the meaning you assigned to Auguste, you believed in its your obsession.
We just didn't expect it to happen so fast.
Well, you hit the nail on. So, since you've been preparing your accord since last night, that means the news of Sylvain's death.
Yes. If we hadn't, you might have resorted to the delusion out of desperation, or continued to use your Spirit Borneal and Auguste combination to wreak havoc.
Who knows? Maybe I would have just offed myself then and there.
I know if you had things your way, you would carry the truth of Edgar's demise and the secrets of this garden to the grave, but I'm sorry, Master. Sylvain only inhaled a small amount of poison. All the crimes he can...
Is that so?
Whoa, he accepted that kind of fat.
I don't feel the need to justify. I did.
Careful,
Looks like...
Of course, Master.
The
scent of Auguste is complex and varied, yet the main ingredient consists of a single... So, as I was analyzing the sample yesterday, I got to thinking, what if the scent of the Auguste flower...
You're saying Yelena designed Auguste to have the scent?
Rainbow roses, glaze lilies, Cecilias... The perfumers of the past knew that if you combine their essential oils directly, they would just cancel each other out. But if you...
Rainbow, Yelena.
Did you know? Miss Emily's releasing a new perfume! Right?
Seems like everyone in Fontaine is talking about the new perfume you're releasing.
I was hoping to release it without such a fuss, but the news spread way faster than I expected. I just hope it won't become the source of some new myth, especially after all the work we did to I did, although I made a few modifications to the formula to make the scent more pleasant and long-lasting. I actually brought a few samples with me today. I hope they're to your liking. Also, I was hoping you could try out the fragrance before I officially release it and tell me your thoughts.
Of course! A good sense of taste and sense of smell go hand in hand, you know? Just leave it to Paimon! Oh, it smells great!
It's alright. All feedback is worth considering. Besides, when it comes to perfume, commenting on whether it smells good is the most straightforward assessment you can ask for. There doesn't always...
Right! Do those flowers have some special meaning? Hearing their names seemed to have an effect on him.
If I had to guess... I'd say it...
The language of flowers? Oh, we've heard of that before! Paimon remembers hearing some...
What each flower is said to represent varies by person and... After returning to Fontaine, I did some research, and it turns out the meanings of those 3 flowers... Forget the past. Perhaps that's the legacy Yelena always intended.
You think Kiria knew about that?
I paid him a visit before his trial and explained what I found, but he didn't... Who knows? Maybe she didn't mean anything by it at all. That was his... Yelena is gone. We'll never know what she was thinking. We can look for meaning all we want, but it'll never be... Even if that is what she... Avenging her... Kiria cultivated his revenge like a flower. He was In any case, thank you for saving my life. Love and hatred are a privilege of the living. When someone died, but even if it's only a conjecture, the meaning we give to... And yet, at the very outset, they're born...
Paimon's stomach is rumbling already!
I only bring in things that have a name.
So close, so close! Wow, Paimon's stomach is rumbling already!
I only bring in things that have a name.
Steady now! It's the... Whew, that was a tough fight! So close, so... Wow, Paimon's stomach is rumbling already!
I only bring in things
You've
that
got
have a
it!
name.
Whew, that was a tough fight!
I'm only bringing things that have a name.
Victory is almost ours! Whoa! Nice catch! Steady now! It's the final stretch! Wow! Paimon's stomach is rumbling already! So close, so close! Stay cool! Whew! That was a tough fight!
Bringing things that have a name.
Steady now! It's the final stretch! Whoa! Nice catch!
I only bring in things that have a name.
Yeah! You nearly got him! Whew! That was a tough fight! You've got it! You got it! Whew! That was a tough fight! Steady now! It's... What is it? What is it? Is it another Paimon? Yeah! You need... Wow! Paimon's stomach is rumbling already! So close, so close! Stay cool! Wow, Paimon's stomach is rumbling already! You've got it! You got it! Wow, Paimon's stomach is rumbling already! Yeah, you need a... Whew, that was a tough fight. Victory is almost at... Whew, that was a tough fight. So close, so close! Stay cool! Yay! Time to celebrate! Victory is almost ours! What is it? What is it? Is it another Paimon? Steady now, it's the final stretch. You made that look easy. You've got it! You got it! Whoa! Nice catch! Victory is almost ours! Wow! Paimon's stomach is rumbling already! You've got it! You got it! Whoa! Nice catch! So close, so close! Stay cool! Whew, that was a tough fight! You've got it! You got it! What is it? What is it? Is it another Paimon? Steady now! It's the Wow, Paimon's stomach is rumbling already! So close, so close! Stay cool! Whoa! Nice catch! Yeah! You nearly got him! What is it? What is it? Is it another Paimon? So close, so close! Stay... Whoa! Nice catch! You've got it! You got it! Wow, Paimon's stomach is rumbling already! Victory is almost ours! Whoa! Nice catch! Steady now! It's the final stretch! Wow, Paimon's stomach is rumbling already! You've got it! You got it! Whew! That was a tough fight!
Take it easy.
Victory is almost ours! Whoa! Nice catch! You've got it! You got it! What is it? What is it? Is it another Paimon? Yeah! You nearly got him! Whew! That was a tough fight! You've got it! You got it! Wow, Paimon's stomach is rumbling already! Victory is almost ours! What is it? What is it? Is it another Paimon? Paimon? Yeah, you nearly got him! What is it? What is it? Is it another Paimon? Victory is almost ours! Whoa! Nice catch! So close, so close. What is it? What is it? Is it another Paimon? Just have patience. Stay strong. Just need to have patience. Stay strong. Victory is almost ours! Wow, Paimon's stomach is rumbling already!
Stay strong.
So close, so close! Wow, Paimon's stomach is rumbling already!
Patience. Oh, come on. Stay strong. Just need to have patience. Oh, come on. Stay strong.
Victory is almost ours! What is it? What is it? Is it another Paimon?
Just need to have patience. Oh, come on. Stay strong.
Steady now! It's the final stretch! Wow, Paimon's stomach is rumbling already! So close, so close! Stay cool! Whew, that was a tough fight!
Just need to have patience. Oh, come on. Stay strong.
Steady now! It's the final stretch! Paimon thinks you've earned yourself a new title! Favonius Fish Catching Extraordinaire!
Just need to have patience.
So close, so close!
Stay strong.
What is it? What is it? Is it another Paimon? You've got it! You got it! Whoa! Nice catch!
I just need to have patience. Oh, come on. Stay strong.